Hi everyone, I'm Rhonda with the Stitch and Time Embroidery Designs, and tonight I want to share with you a story from my past that I have been doing for about 8 years now. Every holiday season in November and December, I do this. And it started out as just something I wanted to do to say thanks to a lot of special people in my life. And it felt so good and it was so much fun that I ended up doing it the next year and the next year. And so it's become kind of a tradition for me every November and December. And I just love doing it. When my dad was ill and nearing the end of his life, um, uh, back in 2016, early 2017. We went through a Christmas time where it was hard. He was in long term care, and I was in and out of there every day. And they were such wonderful people in there taking care of my dad, and home health nurse, and just lots of special people in our lives who really helped and who really meant a lot to mom and I, strangers that came into our lives and helped us at the end like that. And they really meant a lot to me. And I wanted to do something to let them know how much I appreciated what they were doing and didn't really have a lot of time. I run my own business. So I was working and trying to help mom and trying to deal with stuff at home and at the hospital. So I was really, really busy, but we have an embroidery shop. So that was the first thing that came to mind. And that very first year, I used a tea light angel from the Embroidery Garden Nativity collection. And it's such a cute little angel. And I'm sorry I don't have any. I have given them all away. And I don't have any to share with you tonight that are finished. But I use those for a few years. The first few years, that's what I used. It's a cute little angel that was stitched on felt and a tea light fit in the bottom of it. And then when Jonathan came along and started digitizing, and freestanding lace became his thing. And you guys, if you've stitched any of his freestanding lace designs out, you know that he's really talented with freestanding lace. So I think it was last year, I asked him to make a freestanding lace angel, just a one color angel that I could use in place of the tea light. It stitched out faster. It was flat, easy to keep in my purse, and he came up with this one. We use it as a little ornament gift. And then this year I said, well, maybe each year we should come up with a new angel, and there will eventually be a set. So this is the 2024 angel, and white is really hard to see on camera with these lights on. So we have this one from 2023, this one from this year is what he came up with. I think this was this year. Anyway, what I do is I stitch out a bunch of these, and I always have half a dozen or so in my purse. And my tradition was to gift these little angels to these people who meant so much to me and just thank them for helping us, that they could hang these angels on their tree and just kind of remember my dad, kind of like a memory thing, and our family that we got really close to all those nurses and the ladies who helped along the way. And eventually this whole thing morphed into me keeping these in my purse, and even going out into the store during the holidays. You see people so stressed out and shopping, and they're going through, you don't know what anybody's going through when you just run into someone at the store or the post office or the bank or a restaurant. But if it feels right in your heart, these are wonderful to share with strangers too. I have given them to women I've seen in Walmart who look really stressed out, and I get these weird reactions sometimes, like, "Are you kidding me? You're just a total stranger and you're handing me a gift." And it always sparks a conversation. I tell them really quickly how it started with me, and a lot of times they'll share with me something that they're going through, and let me know that this little tiny thing made their day, and it just got to where it felt so good, I wanted to continue doing it. So every year we're going to stitch out another new little angel, and they're easy. They don't take that long to stitch out. And like I said, they're flat. You can keep them in your purse. I'll show you how I package them because I create little cards. Each year I do a different one to put them on. Sometimes I tie a ribbon. The first year we tied a ribbon on top and we put a little card uh, that said it was from Mom and I. But now it's mostly strangers that I give these to and some family members. But I thought that, we could all go out there and share a little joy of the Christmas season with people we meet in the store, your favorite cashier at the grocery store, or your favorite waiter or waitress at the restaurant that you like to eat at, somebody that you're just chatting with at the next table at a restaurant. You just, anybody that you feel called to sharing a little gift with that you would have. Keep them in your car, your purse, anything. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to stitch it out on the machine, and then we're going to rinse it out, and I'll show you how I'll package them. And maybe you could do the same thing. I'll put the links for the two little angels below this video on YouTube. And I hope that you guys enjoy this project tonight. Let's get to it. Okay, so we're going to use this water-soluble mesh. It's the fabric-looking kind. You can use pretty much any size hoop you want as long as the angel fits. It fits in a 4x4 hoop. I don't have the exact measurements here with me right now, but I'm showing you hooping a 5x7 hoop. You can probably fit a couple of them in there. Yesterday, I stitched out 6 of them in I think a 7x12 hoop. I managed to get 6 in. And since I'm only stitching out the one color versions of the angels, last year's angels also has a 3-color version and a 1-color version. This year's just 1 color. But I'm just showing you here really quick how to put T-pins in the edge of the larger hoops. I would say 5x7 and up. You might want to put T-pins in the edges to make sure that water-soluble stabilizer stays nice and tight. So we're just going to take a 2-inch T-pin and stick it in the edges like that. It's going to stop the stabilizer from kind of going in some, getting sucked in by the stitching and, making it looser in the hoop. You want it to stay tight throughout the entire stitch process. If you have one in a small hoop, it's not as bad, but if you have, like I did 6 in a 7x12 hoop, you absolutely want to make sure that that stabilizer stays nice and tight. So I'm just giving you an example here with a 5x7 hoop really quick, how to stick those in the side. Just use your thumbnail to bring the end of it through. This little 4x4 hoop, which is what I'm going to stitch out an angel in tonight. We don't really need T-pins in that. It's small enough to where it's more than likely going to stay tight enough by itself. I would say if you're stitching earrings in it maybe, and you have more than one pair going in there, you might want to use T-pins in the edges. But for this little angel, as long as you have, it really tight and it's not going to go anywhere, it doesn't take that long to stitch it out. So, 4x4 hoop's great. Sometimes I just like swapping them on and off really quick in the 4x4 hoop. All right, so let's take it to the machine. We're just going to stitch out one. And of course, this is sped up. I'm actually stitching at 600 stitches per minute. Right here, I've sped it up just so we can stitch it out in 4 minutes instead of the realistic time that it takes to stitch out. I am using a 7511 needle. I try to use a new one often with freestanding lace. I'm using 40 weight thread. I like polyester thread. It's strong, doesn't break as easily. I'm using matching bobbin here, but since it's so easy to find white bobbin thread pre-wound, or you can use bobbin thread or matching thread here, either one. I did stitch out some of these little angels in light blue too, and they're really pretty in light blue. Like I said, we're stitching them at 600 stitches per minute, and you can stitch these out in larger hoops without a problem most of the time. As long as your stabilizer stays nice and tight, you shouldn't have an issue stitching out more in a bigger hoop. So real quick, because this is going to be finished in a minute or two, if you want to share some ideas in the chat of who you can gift these to, because for me, in the beginning, I said I'd gift them to family and strangers in the store, but there's so many other people that you can gift these to. Teachers, your kids or grandkids, teachers, delivery drivers, goodness knows we get a lot of those here every year. Members of your church, neighbors. I jotted down a few ideas of people that you could give them to like that. You could suggest that people hang them in their car on the rearview mirror as a guardian angel. I actually have one hanging in my car like that. You can put them on the inside of a Christmas card as a little, you send out Christmas cards every year, just drop one in the card. You can use them, tie a ribbon on them and tie them to packages or gift bags. There's so many ways to use them and, gift them to people. If you have other ideas, please share with us and type that up in the chat box so that everybody can see your ideas for how to share these little Christmas angels. And honestly, you could use them any time of the year to gift them like that. But it's a lot of fun. Really doesn't take that long to stitch out. And what I usually do is, I'll spend a little bit of time every week from Thanksgiving to Christmas stitching out a half a dozen of these once a week and sticking it in my purse. So that's kind of my little tradition there. I try to hand out at least half a dozen a week during that Christmas season. Isn't this just the cutest little angel? This one has a cute little dress on and a rounder face. This one has a face, sort of, whereas last year's didn't. So each year we're going to try to do one that's a little bit different. I find artwork that I like for them, and we're going to find one a little bit different. So if you have family members or close friends, make sure you give them one every year so that in the years to come they'll have a set. They can have a little angel tree or something like that. So what ideas do you have to gift these or hand out? Please share with us in the chat if you have any great ideas that all of us can go out there with our little army of angels spreading cheer this Christmas season. And any questions, please type that up in the chat too. I'll be happy to answer them. I'll actually be live in the chat. Okay, so we're done on the machine, and we're going to go back to the table. I stitched out 2 today, and we're just going to pop it out of the hoop, and we're going to trim away that excess stabilizer. That bowl of water there is warm water. The warm water does dissolve the stabilizer quicker than cold water does. That's why I like to use warm water. I'm using a bowl of water on my cutting table tonight just for this video. Normally, I would put those in the bottom of a food strainer and run them under warm water in my kitchen sink. And that's how we rinse them out. I like to rinse out all of the stabilizer because I don't like them to feel stiff or sticky or anything. So we rinse it all out. But just to make this video tonight, we're just going to soak them in this water a little bit. I'll grab a tweezer and kind of shake them around to make sure most of that stabilizer is rinsed out. And if you have warm water there, you'll see it dissolving right away. And then we're going to take it out of the water. And freestanding lace has a tendency to curl up a little bit. So if you dry it upside down, it has a tendency to kind of curl towards the front. So if you turn it upside down and dry it face down, that helps that somewhat. So we'll rinse them out and put them on that towel. And of course you can stitch these out in other colors too. We don't have to use white. I just kind of like it. So I've flipped them upside down. We're going to pat them dry, get all the water out. I do remove them off of the towel because if you have any stabilizer left in it, they might stick to that towel where you have to kind of peel them off. We don't want to do that. So they're all, all the water squeezed out. We're just going to make sure we keep them upside down. And they can just sit there and dry, you know, go eat lunch, do something else. When you come back, they'll be all dry and ready to package. So I went on Canva at canva.com and I printed out these little cards. I have 4x6 Ziploc bags that I got on Amazon. And this card was kind of already made up on Canva. I just added our names at the bottom. And I printed it out on cardstock and printed it out a size that I think will fit in those little plastic bags that I got. This is real easy to keep in my purse. So I stitched out some angels yesterday and they're all dry and ready to go. And I got these adhesive glue dots and they're just little thin dots. There's many different brands and kinds like that. So they're just on a little piece of plastic like that. So just peel them off and they're pretty flat. So they're great for stuff like this. And just put one on the back of it. And you might want to get ones that say temporary adhesive. I'm not sure if that's temporary or not. I'll have to look. Okay, so, and then you just stick it on there like that, where they can take it right back off and tie a ribbon or something. You can include a ribbon in it if you want. And then I just put it in a plastic bag. So that's how I am choosing to, sorry about my phone. I forgot to turn the sound off on it. And my notifications keep going off. All right, so this is how I'm handing them out this year. Last year, I really can't remember. I change it up a little bit every year. The first year when I had the tea light kind, I put them in a plastic bag so I could put the tea light in there and the little felt cover and a little note from Mom and I because the first year I did it, it was her and I doing them and giving them out like that. Let me trim the sides of this. That doesn't quite fit in. That's going to take me too long to try to get it in that little plastic bag. So I'm just going to trim a little bit off the edge there just to make it a smidge skinnier. Let me be careful that I don't cut my angel. And that way it'll be easier to get in the bag. I did try to make it the right size. But if you make it the same size as the bag, then obviously it's a little difficult to get in that bag. So I'll just trim them up a little bit and put them in that bag. And like I said, you can package them up however you want. I try to keep in mind the skinnier they are, the easier they are to keep in my purse. You can keep them in your car, in your purse, but it's cute little presentation. It says, wishing you happiness and peace this Christmas on the bottom. And I put Jonathan and I's name on the bottom of it since he digitized it and I stitched it out. And I'm going to package them all up like that and keep them with me. You don't have to stitch out a whole bunch at one time. You can do like me and just stitch a half a dozen every week. And make sure you stick them in your purse to hand out. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this project and it inspired you to go out there and, stitch out some little angels or anything else that you find and see. You can't really see that too well, but there they are. I found these little cards on canva.com and I stitched them out and put our names at the bottom of them. And I just will pack them in my purse and carry them with me all throughout November and December. Hope you enjoyed this. And if you just want to click the like or subscribe button below so that you get notifications of any of our future videos. And we would love to hear from you and know what you would like to see as far as content in the future. What would you like us to stitch out? and show you what to do. And thanks so much for watching tonight. And I enjoyed spending time with you guys. Good night, everybody.